Yeah, man. So today is episode 47 of Manifest Mondays. Even on a Wednesday, we still here. We still here, man.
Yeah, man.
Today we're going to be talking about how short life is. I think we all get into this mode of where we think we're invincible and invulnerable and like life is just going to be a forever kind of thing. And it's honestly, we're far from that. So we're just breaking down how short it is and how that contributes to all of our lives in the best and the worst of ways, you know. So that being said, let's go ahead and kick this thing off, man. Want to go ahead and give a shout out to all of those who are no longer with us, starting with my dog Anthony Cruz. Just attended his funeral services on Monday, so huge RIP to my guy. We known each other for 21 years, man. 21 years of friendship, of family, pretty much, and it was great to honor him and his life and whatnot. And it was a beautiful service. So shout out to everybody who showed up. But all of us have lost ones, man. Shout out to my pops. My baby brother. Shout out to I'm sure P will mention it, but Tiana. Like we got a lot of people, man.
Right.
So shout out to. I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all share if y'all want to.
Uh,
Man, I mean, yeah, you hitting it on the money, man. Shout out to T, man. It always is a little tougher, man,
right.
when it's somebody that close to you. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Yeah.
we hear about these things happen all the time, but when it's somebody that close to you, man. So big shout out to T, my guy Jerome,
Hmm.
Tori recently.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Tony.
Crazy, bro.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's tough. You got anybody off the top of your head, Diamond?
Not now that I can think of right now, man. Just some of the people you guys mentioned too, because it's funny thing. Like I met Anthony through Z. I met Torian through Z.
Hmm.
Yep.
It's crazy
Hmm.
thing about Anthony. He reached out to me on July 26th, right? It was the Liberian Independence Day, and he was like, "Happy Independence Day, brother." And this crazy thing though, I didn't see the message until he passed away. And it was like, oh my
Ah, damn.
God, yeah.
Yeah.
I was telling Z about it. I was like, yeah, like he reached out
Yeah.
to me. I didn't even see the message until he passed away. It's just so crazy, bro. When I saw that, I was shocked. I was like, what? Like,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
what's going on, bro? It's just so crazy, man, how fragile life is, bro. One minute you're here, the next you're
Yeah.
not here, man. It's just like all your goals and dreams, all the things that you work so hard for, bro. Everything's just taken away from you. It's kind of like, it's sad, bro.
Yeah.
It's like, it made you realize the own mortality, right? Like, that could be me. That could be you, right? Because they were not better than no one else. But each day, we should just be living in gratitude, man. The fact that we made it to see another day, even
Yeah.
seeing being here this time, right? Because there was a lot of people who started the day, but they're not here with us. So the fact that we're here right now is just a
Hmm.
blessing, man. So I'm just living each day, bro, and just like kind of like with a sense of urgency. Like everything I want to accomplish, I'm working hard towards those things because at the end of the day, we think we have time, but in reality, bro, we don't know when the time is gonna be, man. So just like do the things that you want. Send that text right now. Like just live life and be happy and gratitude
Yeah.
each day. That's
Yeah.
my whole take on that.
Every day that we're alive, man, we're one day closer to death. We're a lot closer to death than we are to birth, when every day that we live, man. So as far as what happened to Anthony, that's something that we'll take offline. Don't really want to like talk about that, online. But RP to my guy.
Right.
Nah, facts, man. Um, yeah, I mean it's a hard topic because I think it was it's important to have this conversation because a lot of times it's like we we know it's coming. Like that's like I remember my uncle telling me one time like it's like the only thing promised in life is death. That's
Right,
the only
right,
thing promised. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That and change is the only two things that's promised. But it's kind of like it's hard to conceptualize it until it happens close to
right,
you. You know what I mean? Like
right,
we watch movies all day, and people die. Like 100,000 people die in the movie, and you know what I'm saying. Like it's just like you hear about different stories of celebrities, and then until it hits right next to you, it's like what I'm saying. You hear the bombing everywhere, and until it bombs right next to you, do you realize like, damn, this shit is that fast.
right.
You know what I mean? And it's kind of like we really don't know when our real time is. I know we was talking before this, Diamond, and it's like you know we want to live the best lives we can, but no matter how healthy you are, how much water you drink, how many
Hmm.
miles you run,
Yeah.
anything can happen.
Anything
Anything
Right.
can
can
happen.
happen.
Anything can happen at any moment. You know what I mean? You could, live the healthiest lifestyle and then get struck by lightning. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
it's just it's just a wild thing, man. It's a wild thing to kind of conceptualize like how short this thing really is. So I feel like we felt like it was a important topic to kind of just, tip our hat to everybody that, that was, here too short a time, and then just
Yep.
kind of just really discuss what that looks like, bro. Like,
Hmm.
like
Right.
what let me ask y'all, start with this. Why do y'all think that we don't conceptualize death like that? Like why do you think that is?
I mean, for me, I personally would say one of those topics is hard to talk about, right? Because it's like a taboo.
Hmm.
No one want to talk about death. No one want to talk about, it seems kind of like when you talk to people about life insurance, no one really want to have that conversation. Like, oh,
Yeah.
bro, you could die, and this is
Not
important. God
could.
forbid, you
Not
will,
could.
You
You
right?
will. You know what
will.
I'm
Right.
You
saying? Yeah.
Fact.
will.
Fact.
Yeah.
Thanks for the question. It's gonna happen, right? Just like when are you gonna like cover yourself? Are you gonna protect yourself? I think it's one of those things that we are afraid to have those type of conversation, bro. The
Hmm.
fear of it, right? Because it's kind of because at one point I used to be afraid to even think about it. I used to be
Yeah.
afraid to just talk about it because at the end of the day, man, it's like unknown, it's uncertain, right? It brings like pain, all those things, that feelings that we don't know about. So the fact that we don't really know what really happened after we're gone, it just makes that conversation hard to even get started. And most people feel some type of way, bro, when you start to talk about it. People are like,
Yeah.
why are you talking about this? Why can you
Yeah.
talk about
Yeah.
something positive, right? Because I
Yeah.
think people have this negative connotation towards once you start to have the conversation, it's like, bro, why are you trying to talk about that? It's like you trying to like make that into like self-fulfilling prophecy. But in the day, for me, how I look at it as I'm getting older, right? Because you're seeing people around you, your parents, people getting sick, people getting older, so you know that those things are gonna happen. It's just more for me, it's like a planning kind of like you got to plan. Everything in
Yeah.
life needs to be planned. You got to think about those things, man. Especially if you have kids. God
Hmm.
forbid, if you're the main breadwinner, what's gonna happen if you're
Yeah.
gone? How your kids gonna be taken care of? Those are the things that we have to talk about. But just I feel like the taboo and the uncertain nature of it makes most of us afraid to have this type of conversation
Yeah.
because it's not a fun conversation to have, to be honest.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Agree. I couldn't have said it better myself. It's the difficult conversations. Most people want to keep things light, right? And talking about something as heavy as death, it's not the easiest thing to talk about. It's there's nothing sexy about it. There ain't nothing sexy talking about death, so it's easily avoidable, right? And also I think we're so desensitized to it, right? I think we just see such an abundance of it and like don't even really like truly process it, on social media, when you're scrolling on Twitter, YouTube, whatever,
Right,
Snapchat, all this stuff. We're just so desensitized to it that, it doesn't really ever register until it really does hit close to you, and for all those people that it hasn't impacted, grief is a very real thing, and you're a very fortunate person if you have not experienced that. When it does hit close to home, uh, all I can say is just acknowledge it and prepare for it because it can happen at any given moment, and you just truly never know. Um, and just being that I've seen it happen repeatedly, it's just one of those things I don't think you can ever truly put it into perspective until someone does experience it, right?
right, right,
It's just one of those things. We talk about it all the time, right? Like you never really know what you're going to do in a situation until it happens.
right,
It's just one of those situations.
right,
When it does hit close to home, that's when you truly know everything that you're going to go through and all the different thoughts and emotions and whatnot that are associated with it, and you feel everything that you can possibly feel. You feel in those moments, and it's something that changes you
right,
forever. Death I think truly reshapes who you
right.
are just as an entire being. Because you just realize how truly mortal we are, how finite life is, and we think that we have this unlimited well of just life to just tap into all the time, and that's just not the case.
Right.
Anthony is a prime example. 35 years old. That's crazy. Lived a good, healthy life. And, it's just an unfortunate circumstance, man. And we've seen it happen repeatedly. And it's those moments where it's just like you have that wake up call where it's just like, all right, what am I doing? Like
Right.
seriously, like you have those moments where you just talk to yourself and it's just like, what am I doing? Like what I need to figure this out, right?
Right.
I think every time it hits a little closer to home, it just it you almost get like an instant. You feel a lot of emotions, but there's like an instant um, inspiration that comes from it because it's just like the burden falls on the living, right? You know, and so it's our responsibility to carry on the legacy for those people who are no longer here. So now it's our responsibility to go out and fulfill all these destinies, all these like things that they could not do because life was just gone too soon. Uh, that now falls on our shoulders, and that's okay, because at the end of the day, you want to carry on their legacy and you want to carry on that light, that whatever all the good things you remember about that person, you want to carry that with you forever. And I think that's
Right.
the best way to honor those people is to live, let them live through you and just everything that you do. So
Right.
Yeah, but I think man, you hit that on the money, bro. It's it's a tough thing like while you're actually in it. You know what I mean? Because there's really no way to. I think the hardest part is that there is no way to prepare for it. It's
Right.
hard to kind of like miss something that you don't like you that you still have, and you
mhm.
never really conceptualize somebody that close just not being there.
Right.
It's
Yep.
just it's just hard to do, right? It's hard to do that. Like it's hard to until it happens. It's hard to what I mean. And it would hurt to even start to think about it. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I think you was hitting on it a little bit, DG. Those conversations early. There's a concept that I've been kind of connecting to recently is like just try to have the hard conversations when shit is good because
Right.
Mhm.
when it's bad, it's almost too late to try to
Right.
scramble and then have the hard ones. You're gonna have to have them at some point.
Yeah.
So try to have the hardest conversations when it's good, man. And like you said, man, it's certain things that you want to just set up for yourself. Like life insurance, I think when people don't care about life insurance is based off us being like selfish in a way because it's not for us.
Right.
Life
Hmm.
insurance is not for us, bro. We're not gonna touch it.
Mm-mm.
There's ways that you can, you know what I mean? Like
Right.
set up different types of, life insurance policies. But the truth is, it's for when you go for your
Right.
people to be set up a little bit
Right.
better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's 100% that we are gonna go, and nobody really knows when. You know what I
Right.
mean? So I think these conversations is important.
Right.
Um, and like you said, when you've been through these things that's that close to you, that's you can't really feel it until you do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't really feel it until you do, and it's like I know most people that is affected that close would trade anything in their life for just a little bit more time with somebody. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? But
Right.
we don't have the time that we don't have, but we do have the time now. So that's why
Hmm.
I think it's so important to just make this moment count, whatever
Right.
this moment is to you. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Make this one count. I think it's
Right.
important, bro.
In fact, and one thing for me, man, just like it have been like I usually sometimes I'll question like what's the purpose of life, bro? What's the point of being here? Sometimes like it get me questioning that, right? You work so hard for everything, and then like nothing lasts forever. Like no matter how much legacy, if we talk about I want to make generational wealth, fast forward 3, 4, 5 generation from now, they're not gonna remember you. Like think about do you we don't I don't know who my great grandfather is. None
Yeah,
of those things. So sometimes get me thinking, right? Because like sometimes we become egotistical, like,
yeah,
oh, I want to leave a legacy, right? I want people to remember me. But technically, it's just like so for me, what I'm learning, bro, it just makes me just like at the end of the day, I just want to be a good person. The people around me, those are the people. If I can make my friends' life better, my family life better, those are what I care about. Because at the end of the day, no matter what I do, like there's gonna be a come a time people are not gonna remember me. Like if you look at
Hmm.
in historical times,
guaranteed.
we don't remember any like detail from like the Roman Empire and all that stuff. So every
That's a fact.
time's gonna pass by. No much how much legacy and build. So for me, it's just more about just the people now, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
I know we're still striving for material wealth, financial success, and all that. But at the end of the day, man, make me to like take a step back and just enjoy the process, bro. Just like make sure that I'm taking care of the people around me. I'm loving the people around me, and not really focusing on, oh, I want to leave behind a legacy. I want to leave all these things just for like people to remember me as a person. Now it's just
Hmm.
more about what can I do while I'm here, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Man said
Thanks,
we're gonna
man.
always remember you, DG.
Right,
I,
so yeah.
I think when it comes down to legacy, man, I think a little bit of it is ego, but I also
Right,
think a piece of it really is just like, of course, I'm not entirely sure how long my legacy is going to last, right? I don't know if it's going to be a generation, two
right,
generations, three, whatever the case may be. I'm not really too concerned about that though. At the end of the
right.
day, I'm just trying to make the most of my life that I can right now. And
Facts.
whoever that impacts, hopefully for the better, I'm doing it to impact the people who are directly around me and maybe even some of the people who aren't, right? I think much bigger goals. I would love to like just be able to like make an impact in people's lives for the better. But regardless, I don't think that's going to change how I approach life, though. Like, I'm
Right.
still, regardless if I only impact one person's
Oh
life,
yeah.
10 people, 100 people, 1,000, a million, so on and so forth, I'm going to still keep doing the same things that I'm doing because that's truly what I'm passionate about. Like, this is my purpose. Like, I know
Right.
I'm here to do
Right.
something.
Right.
Now, how far that impact is going to be, I don't know. And
Right.
like I said, honestly, I really don't care. Like, at the end of the
Right.
day, I'm here to get it. What do we always say? Y'all gonna catch these vibes. I don't care who you are, where you
Where
are,
you are.
you gonna catch these motherfucking vibes, man. So that's just ultimately like what the legacy. That's probably something that's gonna be on the tombstone. Yo, a vibe was caught. That's what that's what my tombstone's gonna say. A vibe was caught, baby.
In your
So
dreams, y'all gonna catch this vibe while you having sleep. Y'all gonna catch this
In your
vibe.
dreams, it's still gonna be.
Y'all gonna catch these vibes,
y'all
bro.
gonna catch these motherfucking vibes, man.
No, that's true, but no, it just got me thinking, bro. Just under the day, I think most of the time we wait for people to pass before we give them flowers, right?
Yeah,
Because we see the
yeah.
light, right? Even like when it comes to celebrity and artists and all that, people wait for them to pass away before they start to like share the music. Like it's just crazy. Like why can't we like give people the flower when they're here? Why
Mhm.
can't we show
Yeah,
love to them while we're here? Why do we always have to wait for something traumatic or devastating for to happen before we start to like
Mhm.
realize people's significant and importance?
Mhm.
You just kind of like
Well, I
just
yeah,
think a
the
big piece of it is we don't expect it to happen so suddenly. But I think death is always kind of sudden,
right,
unless it's a situation where somebody's like terminally ill or something like that, and you can kind of
right,
like prepare for it. But more times than not, death is sudden.
right,
And um, I think that is the reason why we just are so far removed from it sometimes. And honestly, let's be real, as we're adulting, right? A lot of us just be having tunnel vision, man. Like it's just like, man, I'm just trying to get it.
right,
I'm working, just trying to, raise a family, whatever it is. So honestly, like sometimes you just get so caught up in that tunnel vision that, that things like that are what forces you to like look up.
right,
Like you're looking, you got your head down all the
right,
time, and then, something like that happens in your life, and it's just like, dang, like shit, let me take a step back,
right.
kind of thing. Um, so I mean, that's just I think that's another huge piece of it too. The older we get, man, the harder it is to stay in touch with people and just
Right.
there's life be life, man.
That's
yeah.
true.
I think that's why it's important to, and I think you guys both do it a little bit better than me, but I've been trying to get a little bit better at it. Just prioritizing time with people that you actually, you know what I'm saying, care about. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Stop, we got to stop thinking sometimes that we just can do it later, man. There's some things we can't. Some things we
Right.
can't do. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And kind of circling back around to your first thing about, not giving people flowers. I don't know if that's personal ego with a lot of people. I think I fully strip that. You
Right.
know what I mean? If
Yep.
it's some flowers that deserve to be got, whether it's somebody with some fly shoes, she smell good, my
Right.
homie's killing it. I'm right in the moment, bro. Yeah, you killing it, bro. I'm proud of you, man. You going crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Like it don't cost nothing, and you know what I'm saying. And to be honest, that other person, especially the strong, what you consider your strong friends, they don't hear it a lot because people
Right.
don't think they need it. People don't
Hmm.
think they need it. They like, oh, he good, he got it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But sometimes it's just good to, hear it as being a strong friend or just give it to your other strong friends like, bro, you know what I'm saying? Like you killing that shit, bro.
Right.
You
Yeah.
going crazy, man. That's and it don't cost nothing. It don't take
Right.
nothing from you, you know what I mean? And I think it is important to give people their flowers while they're here, man, cuz that you never want to have the thought, I wish I could have had one more conversation. I wish I could have
Hmm.
told somebody this. I wish if
Right.
I had one more conversation, I would have said this. just say it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you never know when you really don't. Like how you said, Z, it's always sudden. It would be sudden if you passed at 13 or at 46.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? 46 is still
Right.
young for real. Like when you think
Yeah.
about it like that,
Oh
like
yeah.
right, like you know what I'm saying. So at any point in time, it's sudden. So you don't know when that last conversation
Yeah.
is, bro. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think it's just we gotta strip some of the ego in the sense of like
Hmm.
not doing it just. I don't know. We don't feel like they. I don't know. I don't know what people be feeling, bro. But to be honest,
Right.
because I don't be doing that.
Yeah.
But just
I,
give people their flowers, bro. If
yeah.
you can, just do it. You know what I
And
mean?
I think
Right.
it's different too. I think we're different in the sense of a lot of that stuff doesn't really matter to us. But to your point, P, you mentioned it being ego. I think like also as men, like men just aren't used to like sharing
Right.
like emotional like sentiments with each other and stuff like that. So it's just like I remember one of my homies, I was the first homie to tell him I love you. You know, like and he told me he remembers that like that moment to this day. He was like, bro, I had never had a homie tell me that he loves me, and he was like, bro, I honestly didn't even know how to feel. He was just like, I guess I love you too. Like, like shit. Like,
I love you
all
back.
right,
I love you back.
love you, boy. you know,
Hey, right back at you, playboy.
hey, and I think being vulnerable, especially for men, can be uncomfortable. And so sometimes stripping that down and being vulnerable and just sharing those moments, whatever it is that you feel towards that person, letting them know that it takes time to get there.
Right.
Not everybody is just like so. We got what's that like that we all got to be strong men. Like that
Right.
machismo effect and stuff like that.
Right.
And sometimes it's okay to just tell your people like, yo, like I love you, bro. Like I care. I just want you
Right.
to know that.
Right.
Things like the little things like, yo, get home safe. Let me know when you get there. Shit like that. It's just
Right.
like
Yeah. Yeah.
just so that people know that like, yo, like I genuinely do care.
Right.
And so I think we do a good job. Like, I mean, God forbid if any of us were to pass today, I think everyone that knows us knows exactly how we feel about them
Right.
too. Because I think we do a good job of just being like, okay, like, nah, like, yo, you my dog, yo, hey, you've been fucking this shit up. You going crazy on life. You going crazy on life right now. So keep doing what you're doing. And so,
Right.
uh, but it's not like that has always been the
Oh
case,
yeah.
and so like I think that's another piece of it too. It's just like it's always ego, right? But I think specifically for men, being vulnerable is hard.
No, it is, and I want to say shout out to Cass, man. I don't know if he's on this live, but Casson always saying I love you, bro. He's one of those people like he don't
He
try. He's like,
does.
I love you, DG. I'm like, I love you too, bro. So shout
Shout
out to
out to
Cass. Also Max,
yeah.
man. Shout out to them, bro. 'Cause,
Yeah.
no, it's kind of like awkward, right? Because if you say your boy, I love you, you're like, oh, what do I say? What do I say?
It catch you. It always catch you off guard a little bit, huh?
Always,
Yeah,
man.
for real. Like even when a female right at one point growing up, a girl like you just talking to her, y'all dating, getting to know each other, and then she like, I love you, like you're like, do I say this bad? I'm
Yeah,
like,
like
what?
hold up, man. Wait now, hold up. You know what
You
I'm
know what I'm
saying?
saying?
What you used to? I mean,
Exactly.
Diamond used to say, "I love you too." Yes, I love you too. He couldn't even say it back. I love you too. He said, "I love you too." You know what I'm
And she was like, I
saying?
love you too. It sounded like it, right? But it's like I
It
was like,
does
which
sound like
one?
you talk about horsing around. That's the
that's
king.
that,
That takes the
that's
cake for
what
horsing around. He said,
wild.
"I love you too."
I love you. I love you too.
That boy crazy. I think
No, but one
you
thing,
know.
no, but it is awkward at first, right? But you got to get used to it because, like you said, man, we're
Mm,
not used to like growing up, right? We weren't told like, "Oh, I love you," like your siblings. Like it's awkward. Even like me and my brother, sometimes like I'll be joking like, "I love you, bro," and they're like, "Shut up, DG." I like give you like,
Yeah,
"I
stop
love you
being
too."
like that.
Yeah, it's a little awkward because we're not used to that, right?
yeah.
Just growing up, it's not something that we say all the time. And talking about death too, bro. Like, what about life, man? I think we should also like celebrate life. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like every day, yeah. We shouldn't just be focused on death because we know it's gonna come, right? Until then, have fun. Do the things that you enjoy.
Hmm.
Whatever that you enjoy that makes you happy, do that, bro. Don't wait. That we say that a lot, bro. Like we're not trying to like wait till we're 65 years old
Yeah.
and wait for our full 1K plan before we start to like do these things, travel and have fun. Like start doing things now, right? Within a reasonable doubt, right? Plan, make sure you're not going crazy, but like have fun while you can, while you're healthy, you have the mobility to do all those things, enjoy life, celebrate, man. We gotta
Yeah.
like have fun because you never know, bro. Enjoy it while you're here.
You
Yeah.
never
Man, I was
know.
you hitting it on the money, bro. I was reading what's the book? The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, right? And
Hmm.
one part of it, I love that book. But one part of it, he was talking about like one of his homies like passed like super young when like in high school, but he had a dream where his homie kind of came back in a dream to him and was like, why do you care so much that I died when you're so scared of living? You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? He
Mm.
said that really stuck with him, man. And I think that's what it is like it's almost like a lot of people aren't scared of death, but we scared of life. Like we
Right.
scared of like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like getting on a different path and just doing the things that we actually want to do. We're scared of the, talking to the girl we actually want to talk to. We're scared of
Fact.
Yep.
going after the job we want to do or the passion that we want to actually do or telling people how we actually feel, bro. It's like
Yeah.
a lot of this you know what I'm saying? We put ourselves in these cages and don't even live and and then you just coasting until that moment. You know what I mean? I heard this thing
Yep.
that said don't live the same year 75 times and call it a life.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like be willing to test the limits, bro, and
Hmm.
just, and try different things, bro, cuz it's short, bro. This
It
thing is
is.
short, man. So, you know, I don't want to get too on the serious point, but we do want to hit on, the importance of like trust, wills, and life insurance, man. Y'all wanna start with that?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I would just start with life insurance. I think everyone watching this, young, old, I don't care how old you are, how young you are, you need to have a life insurance.
Hmm.
Because at the end of the day, you said that earlier, Ramon, it's not about you. You know, we all know, God forbid, something happened to you, your family, your loved ones, going to be going through a lot
Yeah.
anyway, right? Because you not being here.
Hmm.
Imagine they're not there, you're not there, and then they have to deal with all the costs that comes with everything while you're not here.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you said that earlier too, bro. It's like you being selfish. Because at the end of the day, at one point I had this friend. He was like, "Hey man, if I'm gone, they're gonna have to figure it out. I'm not here, so I don't have to worry about it. I
Yeah.
understand. Yes, you're not here. You don't have to worry about it. But what about the people that are there to take care of it?
Yeah.
Like, what are they gonna do? And the funny thing is, like for us, while we're young and healthy, it's cheap as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cheap. It's not.
Facts.
It's not. It's not
Facts.
gonna break the bank. You know.
Facts.
It's not. We spend money on bottle service. All these dumb ish that we do all the time. It's less cheaper than that, and you can set yourself out with a policy like 500K, like how much, whatever it
Yeah.
is, and the premium is not gonna be a lot.
Yeah.
Cause like
Yeah.
I think my premium is like $50 a month, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not that much. Those are the things
Yep.
that I feel like you just have to like. We hope we don't want to use that. I'm not hoping that my mom, whoever get that, my beneficiary get that. I don't want that, right? But God forbid if the worst happen, they are not left with the financial burden of having to worry about what they're
Yeah.
gonna do. Those
Yep.
things are taken care of. There's nothing
Exactly.
wrong with GoFundMe. If people want to like support GoFundMe, that's good and everything. You can like
Yep.
add help to the family, but I think it's just good to just establish that foundation right away.
Yeah.
Why you can, why you're young, why it's cheap.
Yeah. Yeah. It's never too early to start planning, man. It genuinely never is. And what what you want to do is like, why not make someone's life easier,
Fact.
right? Like I think we all need to be in that mindset of like not being so self-driven and selfish. And like we need to be more selfless, right? Like why not? Why shouldn't I make this person's life easier? And like we said, life insurance isn't for us because when we pass, we're not gonna benefit from it, but the people around us are.
Right.
Just like you said, DG, the last thing that they want to be worried about is the financial piece
Right.
of it,
Fact.
because they
Fact.
already got so much on their mind. The last thing that they want to be doing is like scrambling to be like, oh, how are we gonna pay for this? How are we gonna
Right.
pay for that? Now granted, when you pass, it still takes some time for like life
Right.
insurance and whatnot to process. It's
Right.
not like it's just like a
Have it right
instant,
away.
like all right, you passed yesterday, like my bank account 500K, baby, right now. That's not how it works. There's definitely a process, so that's why I do think things like GoFundMe's and stuff like that exist so that
Right.
like, you can kind of front the costs and then like you get reimbursed after like you do get the life insurance policy and
Right.
things like that. But it's just, like I said, just taking those things into consideration of just knowing that like I don't want my family's burden to be even heavier, by trying to figure out how to come up with money
Right.
to pay for my funeral.
Right.
Like let me try and ease that load a little bit. And things like trust and wills, man, we've seen it happen more times than not, like especially like as we get older, of just like people passing and like we said, it's just always sudden, man. And it's just every time it happens, it's just like Now I'm not gonna lie, I am horsing around. I still don't have a will, and I don't know
Right,
why. Like,
right,
I genuinely don't have a will, and so as we sit here and talk about it, I'm not gonna act like I am the exception because I
right.
haven't
I
even
don't.
written my will yet. So I
Right,
do need to quit horsing around and make my will. But as these things continue to happen and hit close to home each and every time, I always have that moment of like clarity where it's just like, you look, you need to get your shit together and start figuring this out. Just it's never too early to start planning. It's never too early to you know, start making wills, trusts, life insurance, all these things that are just gonna like I said, benefit your family in the long term. You may not reap the benefits of it, but hey, like I said, at the end of the day, it's making everybody's life easier, and that's what we want to do at the end of the day,
right,
especially for the people who care about us.
right. And shout out to Max. He further there are aspects of life insurance that can be reaped while living. So yeah,
Yep.
there you go.
Yep.
Yeah, you never go wrong with those things,
Uh,
man. You don't go wrong by
um,
playing and taking care of business, in my opinion.
Mhm.
You know.
Yeah.
So I reminded,
He,
and someone also
he,
said credit too. I agree,
oh
man.
yeah.
Those things are important
Yeah.
for sure.
Absolutely.
Like it's important, man. Just taking care of like for me, like you said, man. Just taking care of the people around you. Because at the end of the day, it's not for you specifically, right? It's like
Hmm.
so at the end of the day, yeah, life insurance. You're not gonna be here to reap whatever benefit of that, right? So about the people that you love and care about. We all know that death comes with a lot of complications,
Yep.
man. Like a lot of stuff that you're not even prepared for, but just having those basics taken care of, to me, it's just helped mitigate like, some stress that we're not worrying about
Yeah.
everything. So I think it's
Yeah.
important.
And,
Most of
and
the go
oh
ahead,
no, go
Z.
ahead, bro.
No, I just think most, especially us young people, like we have this mindset that, oh, we're young, we're
Hmm.
healthy, but at the end of the day, it doesn't work that way, man. It's not. You never know. It's like car insurance, right? You don't have car insurance on your car because you're gonna get in a crash the next day. It's just there, God forbid, if something
Yeah.
happens, something out of your control, you're covered, and that's kind of like the same,
Yeah.
way life insurance is set
Yeah.
up too, just to make sure that
Absolutely.
when you're gone, the worst happened, the people around left behind, they are taken care of.
Yeah. We talk about it all the time, right? It's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it.
Right.
That's just the way that it's set up, right? Like at the end of the day, things happen, accidents happen, life
Right.
happens. So it's just hoping for the best but preparing for the worst. And speaking of which, I want to give a shout out to Moody. Moody on here. Shout out to the CEO of Remote Escape. She a real one. But she actually put us onto some game recently about trust.
Right.
As opposed to wills. So I'm gonna actually like let P touch on that.
Okay, I need to learn about it. Go ahead,
look,
Ramon.
man, are y'all cutting that in?
Yeah, you guys are like a little bit choppy for some reason.
Both of us.
Yeah, yeah. Like the quality, the image a little distorted a little bit, but I can hear you guys, like just not
Me now?
visuals. Uh,
I I,
uh,
I can see y'all. I feel like
Can you
yeah,
hear
I
me
can
though?
see y'all.
You hear me now?
yeah, we can hear
Yeah.
you,
Okay.
Ryan. Just
It's
the
just
Okay.
quality's not
I think I
clear.
made it
your
out.
image your image quality isn't the greatest, but yeah, we can hear
We
you.
can hear you.
Yeah, I think it's the same on the both sides. So I don't know. But yeah, I do want to touch on that, man. Shout out to Vermilla Moody, for kind of putting me on some of this game with like just like trust and wills. You know what I mean? And a lot of people don't. A lot of times what we happen like with life insurance and just even assets that we end up getting, we talk about financial freedom and building wealth this whole time, but if you don't have these things set up, then
Hmm.
the court, like people have to go through the court to
Mm,
basically get it, or you know
Yep.
what I mean. If you don't have like a plan set up to like how it's going to be distributed to the people that you pass it on to, then the court will figure that out. And then the big thing that Vermella was telling me about was is a lot of times, if things ain't good with certain people in the family or friends and stuff like that, they'll fight for some of the stuff that you didn't put in writing. So because nobody really knows who's supposed to get it, so they'll fight
Hmm.
for it. And she said the one thing I liked is she said the only person that wins when that happens is the court, because you going through
right.
court and the lawyers is taking the money off the top and they getting a piece of
Yep.
every court date and stuff like that. The only people that win is the court, man. So just you putting a will together and specifically a trust that says exactly where things go and who things go to, it makes it real easy for the court. No one can even fight what it is because you
Right.
already put it in in writing. No one can
Yeah.
really be mad, and you do it while you're still living now too. So like a lot of those people know what it is before you go. That's important
Hmm.
too, right? Because a lot of times people don't know until after something happens, and then
Right.
they're like, "Oh, well, why'd you get this and he got that?" Sometimes it's just better to have the trust to just be like, "Yo, this is what it is. While I'm still here, you could talk to, we could have a conversation about it while I'm still here. But this is what
Yeah.
I want to happen." You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And then it's we don't have to go through trauma and the fighting kind of coupled together. We could just be like, we knew what it was before this happened. You know what I mean? So
Right.
it's
Yeah.
super, super, super important, man. I think that I'm like you, Z. I talk a big game, but still haven't even done it myself. And it's
Right.
partially because we don't think we have all the assets that we want to get in life.
Right.
But it's like we have some. We
Right.
got something to lose
Yeah.
for sure. We got something that
Yeah.
should be passed on right now. You know what I mean? So
Right.
I think something that I'm gonna like implement for myself is, probably I'm gonna make it a goal by the end of this year to, put together either a trust or a will, and then
Right.
just every 5-10 years update it. You know what I
Right.
mean? With different things, if I, different people in my life with different things that I acquire maybe, and just different, different pieces. But super,
Hmm.
super important to get that done. You know what I mean? And I think
That's
I
dope.
think that we all should at some point.
Yep.
I agree, man. Like, how do you get started? Do you have to talk to your accountant to do that, or like how do you get started when it
I,
comes
I
to
want
that?
I want V to tap. I want V to tap in. My dad actually, my dad and grandma kind of put one together. But I think you could either do it through the bank or through a lawyer. And forgive me if I'm wrong, V, but I'm pretty sure what they did is either go through the bank or the lawyer to draft up the trust, and then you
Mm,
take it to the bank, and then kind of you put certain assets that you have under it, and like lay out a clear breakdown of what goes to who. You know what I mean? They have, and
right.
then B saying it right here. They have trust attorneys, so they have an attorney that would come in and help you draft up that trust, and then you would take it to the bank for certain things that you own. You can also have trust bank accounts that other people can be
Yeah.
placed under too, right? So if I had like
Hmm.
Ramon trust account, I could put Diamond and Z
All right.
as co-owners to that. And, the things
Yeah.
that people, some people that have control of certain things and stuff like that. But yeah, you would start there, get a trust attorney, take it to the bank. You can get your will done the same way, and then I think V was telling me it too. They ask you if you're in the right state of mind to when you go into that room. They ask you if you're in the right state of mind.
Yeah.
Are you in a good state of
Are you
mind
high
to
right
do this?
now? Do you
Pretty
ever
much,
get
pretty much.
nervous?
You see what I'm saying? But as long as you are, you know what I mean, then you can, create that trust however you want, man. And I've even seen people starting to get around people that are like super into like financial literacy and stuff like that.
Right.
We always talk about if we build these assets, a lot of people are afraid what their family or people when they pass it on are going to do with it, right? You can set up trust in a way that people have to do certain things before they get access to it too. So
Yep.
like if you do grow a lot of money in your accounts and stuff like that, and you were like, okay, I want, my niece to get this or my daughter to get this or my, you know what I mean? I want them to get this, but I want them to be financially literate. You could set up things like, yo, they might have to pass certain financial literacy courses, or you might
Right.
have to
Hmm.
learn how to do this before you get access to it, or it could be paid out over a course of time as opposed to a lump sum. There's different ways that you can set it up, but you can set it up super specific. And I was talking to somebody who was like super financially literate, and he was like, his daughters have to go through certain financial literacy courses and
Oh,
pass
wow.
them before they
Damn.
get access to what he's gonna give them. And
Yeah.
I was just like, that's why, like, they got to go through real, because he had like real estate and stuff. They got to go through real estate classes, landlord classes. He,
Damn.
he would have he would be paying them out, like he would be paying for it out of the money, but they'd have to go through it before they
That's
get
fire.
full access to it. And I
Yeah.
was like, that's dope.
That's
That's
fire.
dope.
That's
That's
fire.
really
Yeah.
really dope.
And shout out to Moody. She tapped in. She said, "Yeah, a will goes through probate, um, while a trust doesn't because the trust is private. A will is public information. So
Gems, man.
So, so the trust fund kids, those are the ones who be having a lot of money, huh?
yeah,
They knew the
exactly
money
that.
was coming their way. You know
Exactly.
what I'm saying? Go ahead.
But to that point though, maybe they're also financially literate because maybe they had to do certain things to
Right.
access, the funds in the
Right.
trust and whatnot. Being that you can get very specific with it. You know, them trust fund babies, they be having bread, but they also be knowing what to do with it, you know, too. So, and
Right.
maybe that's a reason why. Not all of them. I'm not saying all trust fund babies just be out here just financially literate and shit like that. You know, like a lot of them be out here horsing around not doing shit. But I mean, hey, it is what it is, man.
So, quick question for you guys: would you rather be a trust fund baby, or just like work hard, just earn your own itch?
That's a
I
that's
that's a good question.
that's a
Can
good
I be
question.
both? Can I be like can I have like grown up in the slums and then like I didn't know that I was the beneficiary of a trust, but you know maybe like a distant uncle passed when I was like you know 23, and then after I had already kind of like figured some things out for myself, is they were like boom. Boom. Now you got access to like $47 million. So I
Yo,
still grew up like knowing
yo,
what the value of a dollar is, but
yo,
now
Now you
I
got
got access. It don't
damn,
work like that.
it don't work
it's
like
this or
that.
that. It's
All
this or
This
right,
that,
or
man.
that.
all right, all right. I'm gonna plead the fifth. I'm gonna let y'all go first then.
Yeah, I'll be a trust fund baby. God damn it.
Yeah, I think it would be childish, bro. It would be childish to choose struggle on purpose. Like you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like nah, bro. Nah, man. If I had a choice,
Yeah,
and
I
to
would
be
say
honest, that would
yeah.
all it would be saying is that my parents left something for me.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I think it came such with like a negative silver spoon
Right.
connotation of
Right.
certain things. But to be honest, you can't be mad at what they parents left for them
yeah.
for real. When you
Exactly.
really break it down,
Facts.
you really break it down. I heard shout out to Carlos Miller, the comedian. He said, man, my one advice to everybody is some people's gonna have more than you and some people's gonna have less. Stop
Right.
hating on the nigga.
Yeah,
You know
that's
what I'm saying?
it.
Like they gonna have either
That's
or. You know what I'm
it.
saying? Some people had more than you and some people had less, bro.
Right.
And to be honest, all that was really about was their parents leaving something for them.
Yeah,
So you
Mm.
can't. I get
yeah,
that we naturally it makes us feel
Right.
away, but
Right.
you can't really be mad. Like if we all want to be financially free and create generational wealth, then that means that our kids would have generational wealth money,
yeah,
Right.
and we would be mad at the same kids that we're trying to create,
yeah,
right?
Right.
The same generation. So I think long-winded answer, I would choose that. But
Right.
I think, hopefully I would
So,
still learn some type of work ethic.
all right, what about part two, Kels? I like the way Kels phrase it, right? How would you prefer your kids growing up, though?
yeah,
Trust fund kids
Right.
or,
yeah.
man,
That's easy,
she.
right? That's easy, right? But I mean, it's I guess it's not if they don't struggle at all. I've heard from a lot of people that it's really hard to teach certain things when the kids come straight from money. It's
Yeah,
certain things that
Mm.
it's hard to just that they couldn't have learned on their own by going through the certain things, you know?
yeah.
Right. Like, how much money are we talking about, though? You know what I'm saying? At first, how much money are we talking about, right?
Let's
Like,
go. When you said your number, we all said what our number was that we wanted to
Yeah.
I,
get. Let's
my
say
my
that your
number,
kid is that you get that. If you get
uh,
that, that's where
yeah,
you
because
come from.
my number went up again, bro. Now it's 20 mil.
That boy gonna raise his number every time we have a live.
Come
He
on,
like
man.
yesterday's price is not today's price, baby.
I thought about it, bro. 20 mil. Damn. Yeah, I would say let them little dudes have it, man. I would say, yeah, I grew up with money. Yeah, because I don't want them to struggle and go through all the hard shit. So yeah,
That boy gonna raise you gonna raise your price every time. It's 20 million now. Watch by the end of this year, his price gonna be like goddamn
What
700 million. Like how'd you
what is
get how'd
seven?
you
Hey,
goddamn
we preach about progress, bro. I thought about it, like, man, I'm not making progress. I'm still stuck on the same number like 2 years ago. That's not progress. Mental progress. So I got to increase the
That's a
bar a little
fact.
bit.
That is a
all right,
fact.
Yeah,
That's
all right, all
yeah.
right.
So
I see what you're doing.
it went up to 20. So I would say so, man. But at the end of the day, I believe though, as a good parent, even though if you have money, bro, I think you can teach your kids those discipline, right? And they can grow up and become good, solid kids. Even though they have everything, like, they don't have to struggle, they don't have to work as hard as you, but you can instill discipline within them by them seeing how hard you work and you being in their lives. I know that I believe that they can still have a good life, even though they have money and all those things with
Yeah,
them.
yeah, exactly. Actually, Kels, Kels actually hit this on the money. He said he wants them to be familiar with being hungry, bare minimum, not enable entitlement. I agree. At the end of the day, I do want my kids to have access. Like, I think it's selfish of us to be like, oh, my kid has to go through the same exact thing that I went through.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you
Right.
should want better for your kids,
Right.
right? So I also think that's kind of a reflection of a broke mentality.
Right.
Like, now, granted, you want your kids to know what the value of a dollar is, like to not
Right.
be entitled and things like that. Like, I definitely get that, but like to want to purposely put your kids through the same thing that you went through, I think is just that's just being spiteful. I feel like
Yeah. Hey
so
man, you
so
got to eat this ramen noodles, bro. You got to eat
that's
this
just
ramen.
that's just like what are we doing? Like, we're being petty now. Like, come on now, like So
I
it's
mean,
um,
it's hard
they got to
hard
figure it
to it's
out.
hard to it's hard, right? Like, it's hard to find that balance for sure.
it
Right.
is
It's hard to
but
find that balance because they need to, like you said, you don't want to enable entitlement where they feel
Right.
like they
yeah,
deserve certain things. They just
Right.
exactly.
deserve it
You're their
just for
kid.
existing because the world is going to tell you differently really really
Yeah,
fast. You know what I mean?
yeah. But
That is
I think
that
you can't. I think you can't do things to like try and teach your kids, like certain values, right? Like, I think you could, make them volunteer. You know,
Right.
I'd be like
No,
every time
dad.
they,
I got a G wagon. I'm not going to volunteer, dad. I'm
all
not
right,
going.
bet. The G wagon. I'll go sell the G wagon. Like, you
I
ain't got a
got
G
it.
wagon no
I
more.
got a G
You ain't
wagon.
got a G. I'll be like, as a matter of fact, that G wagon gone. Like, I don't know what G wagon you talking about. Like what G wagon? What phone? I'll take all of that. Like,
Right.
what phone you got?
Right.
You ain't like. So I think there are certain things you can do. I personally, I want my kids to work like growing up, like in like some kind of job, like a fast food job or something like that, where like you can just know. I'm not saying you got to work this for
Right.
life, right? Like I'm not saying like like right, but like maybe like when you in ninth grade, like you need to go like you need to go work. At the end of the day, just I'm not saying you have to work to make a living,
Right.
but you got to work, to just understand like what the value of this is,
Bro,
because
to be honest though, if I knew my dad was rich, like sitting on 30, 40 mil, bro, if I was working at McDonald's, I would be pissed.
yeah.
I don't care.
But I think
That
that
would be
also be a
good for you.
lesson. It'd
It
be
would
the
be good
lesson
for
though.
you,
That's
bro.
there's
That's
value in
good
that.
for
Like
you.
like
It'll be good
I
You
for
know
ain't
you.
my
got to
kid.
eat
I
burgers.
know my kid probably like he probably cussing my ass out behind my back. He probably like saying my dad a bitch ass, but like all that shit. But I'd be like, hey man, at the end of the day, I think it's going to teach them a valuable lesson, and that's the whole purpose of it. Probably 2 days into working there, he's
Bro,
like,
I'll get
Dad, fuck
fired
that
on
job.
purpose.
He'd be like, fuck that job. And I'd be like, exactly, that shit is trash. But like the reality of it
Right.
is that is another person's like entire reality. Like,
Exactly.
right? Like there's
Yeah.
people who are literally like 47-year olds who are still fry cooks and shit like that at like fast food restaurants and it's just crazy to think about, like,
Their
right?
dad should have been rich then. I don't care.
You know, somebody
they,
thinking like that for
they,
sure.
they should have been a trust fund baby,
Your
huh?
dad should have been
Yeah.
rich. Your dad
The-
didn't do a good job. He was out here horsing around, chasing these
He was
fast
forcing.
girls. What my dad was out here building his company. Now I feel you though. Yeah.
I
Yeah. That's true.
I just want to throw something in here because I was talking to this lady. She's from Ghana. I was talking to her this weekend, and she said she ultimately wants to move back to Ghana, but she's gonna let her kid go to school here, right? But what she said is, I think he's 6 now, but every 3 years she's gonna take him back to
Mhm.
Ghana to go to school for like 2 weeks, just so he
Right.
could really feel the difference and
Mhm.
understand the type of privileges that he has here,
Fact.
and then but
Yeah.
still be tapped into, his culture out there. So I thought that was just a really cool, you got to get creative on like, when you
Oh
start
yeah.
to come into what you got to get creative on how to make people appreciate certain things. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know,
No,
I
it's
thought that
true.
was super dope.
That's true because I heard so many family, right? Because their kids grew up here, and whenever they were misbehaving, the parents like, "Yeah, I'm gonna send your ass back home to Africa." No, for
That's
real though,
crazy.
for real. And they actually modify their behavior because they're like, "I ain't trying to go back over there. I
Yep.
knew how
Yeah.
things were back there. Let me act right." And sometimes they also send them back home so that they can learn a lesson. Then whenever they come back here in the States, they are so much different. They
Yep.
act better. They're like,
Yep.
"Oh, since you want to be in the streets, you're gonna go back home and be in the streets."
Yeah.
Now whenever they go back home, they get that sense of
Yeah.
reality that, shit, I had to better over there. Let me get my act right because
Yeah,
at the end of the day, I want more
exactly,
for myself. Yeah, most
exactly.
African parents do that
Yeah.
too, bro.
Yeah.
Shout out to
I trick my kid though. Like I'd be like, "Oh, we going on a trip," and then I'd fly out there with him, and I'd be like, "It'd be a one way." He'd be like, "Dad, where's my flight
Yeah,
back?" And I'd be like, "Nah, you're not
yeah,
coming back. Your ass stay here."
I'm gonna see you next month, my brother.
I'm gonna see you in 6 months, my brother. You go ahead and enjoy it out here.
damn, that would be cold. Damn,
Nah,
damn, you leave.
six is
Ice
long.
cold,
60, that's a
oh,
long six.
ice
That
cold blood
that's
flowing through
neglect,
these veins.
bro. I
Ice,
should have called
ice.
Child Protective Service for you.
Oh man. Nah, shout out to Mark Hills. He said he likes the idea of building that perspective in
Yep,
other countries. I think
yep.
that's dope, man, and that's really dope for everybody who's coming with us on this remote escapes trip.
You see what I'm
You
saying?
know,
Right.
you could
You
buy
see
some
what I'm saying?
property. Oh, you could buy some property overseas, and you could come have this experience too. But really,
Yeah.
like, to have both, right? Like to go out there because there's like a a luxury side of these
Oh
other
yeah.
countries, but then you want to take them into the city where there's really is, other
Right.
things going on, man. There is both sides everywhere. So,
Right.
but I think it would be dope to be in these different places and maybe own something over there and just let your kids be out there for a minute and just disconnect from certain things that we do out here. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Fact.
So
Because we hear
Yeah.
yeah,
that all the
man.
time, right? Like first world problems. Some of the things that we complain about over here, right? People back home, they have real issues that they have to deal with.
Hmm.
Sometimes like I get it, it's like that's the life we live right now. But I feel like sometimes we just have everything easy, right? Especially kids, right? They just have everything easy. They don't know on the other side of the world what other kids are going through. So
Hmm.
Diamond,
especially
real
for
quick,
young kids,
what are some? We always talk about first world problems. What are some third world problems, man? Break it down for these people,
bro,
man.
everything. Third world problem, waking up in the morning, bro, not knowing what you're gonna eat. Right? You don't have lights, you don't have no running water in your house. How here you just go in the shower, turn it on, you
Yeah,
have hot water, cold water. Third world problem, you don't have that. So
yeah,
Hmm.
third world problem, people don't even have fridge in their homes, right? Like none of those things. We complain about, oh, internet. Third world problem, no internet.
No internet.
No light, right? You're talking about, oh yeah, I can have all these technologies to study. Third world problem, they don't have anything to even study. They have to go walk, sometimes go to libraries and stuff to figure stuff out. Like nowadays, we just have everything on our phone,
yeah.
Google and all that.
Yep.
Yeah, that's like just all the amenities, things we take for granted here, bro. Like they don't have that. The fact that we are doing this here, when going back home when I was there in last year, even like the regular kids don't even have food to eat, bro. They'll come over to be like, we haven't eaten all day, like nothing to eat, no food, nothing. And back home, like it's crazy because like when you are in this type of environment, bro, all you think about is survival. You're not thinking about I have these bigger goals. I need to buy real estate. I need to
Hmm.
invest. People back like the people I was hanging out with, they don't have those bigger goals. I believe that in order for us to have all these goals, oh, I want to buy a new car, I want to do this, I want to travel. Your basic needs has to be met. And
Yeah.
most of the time, their survival, they don't even have a place to stay. They don't even have food to eat. They barely have clothes. So they are not thinking about all these bigger things, new
Hmm.
car, vacation, all these things that we think about here. All the thing about is food on the table.
That's
Like,
it.
kind of like how the animals, right? Like, it's crazy to say this, bro, but it's fact, bro. All the thing about is just food right away, nothing else. People
Hmm.
wake up
Hmm.
without all they want to eat because they don't have it.
Yeah.
That's the basic needs are not being met, man. It's crazy. So for me, knowing that and going back like 20 years later, seeing everyone that were in the same environment, no one has make any progress, bro. People is like still at the bottom, right? It made me realize, damn, bro. Like the fact that you're here, you don't take this chance for granted. Like make the most of it.
Yep.
Because like people will kill. People are killed to be in your position. It's crazy. It's
Literally though.
true.
Literally,
People were
literally though.
killed to be in your position. The things that we complain about, all the people look at you like, bro, are you really complaining about those? Are you really
Hmm.
complaining about you're not having internet right now on your phone? You
Yeah,
have everything else. You have a nice car, but you completely don't have Wi-Fi.
yeah.
They don't
Yeah.
believe those things. So it's kind of like mind blowing, right? It's like
They
completely
gave you
different
too
than how we
much dip
think.
for your chips, and now you got extra dip and not enough chip.
Correct.
It's a lot of things that we
Right.
be complaining
You
about,
know,
and it's like,
abundance,
right.
man. Like even at the stoplight, sometimes like, I was like, man, this stoplight is taking forever, right? Like the little things we complain about,
Yep.
like day to
Hey,
day.
you can really. I heard somebody say this. I'm not gonna take credit. You can tell. You can tell how good somebody's doing by how their problems are. You know what
Yep.
I'm saying? if your biggest problem is this light is taking,
Right.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If
Like,
your
take it
biggest
back.
problem is that this car takes $90 to fill up,
Right.
you doing all right, my brother. You know what
You
I'm
doing all right,
saying?
man.
You know what I'm saying? You doing all right.
It's funny because we're at a Mercedes store and I was just talking to the G Wagon, like, how much it's gonna cost on gas? And they were like, if you're buying this G Wagon, you shouldn't be worried about gas because you should have gas already. So,
That's a fact.
and I'm like, damn,
That's,
it's true. Because
that's
why
a
are you worried
fact.
about gas if you buy the G Wagon, right? You
Yeah.
know it's gonna
That's
be
a
an
fact.
expensive car. Like, you're talking about how much you're gonna fill the tank. Like,
Yeah.
you should have money to do this. It's just like
Oh,
one of those.
side note, what'd y'all end up getting your dad?
Oh, we got my car, the same car that I got.
Fire,
That's
fire,
fire, man.
Yeah,
Which
right.
one
fire,
is it?
man.
The
The
GLC,
GLE.
yeah, GLC,
Come on.
yeah,
Come
Oh,
on,
it's the
Formatic,
man.
yeah,
GLC.
yeah, that's
Shout
what I
out
got,
to
bro.
that, man.
Yeah, it
Fire.
was dope, man.
So,
Shout
Yeah,
out,
we
shout
were
out to
so happy,
Pops, man. What was his reaction?
bro. Shocked, like they couldn't believe it because it wasn't planned. He had no idea what was gonna do it. You remember I told you guys about it, so we went to
Hmm.
look that day. We didn't see anything we really liked, so we just like because he always loved Mercedes, right? That's how I kind of like started liking Mercedes because he growing up he always loved like Mercedes, BMW,
Yeah.
so that's kind of like what I like. Yeah, so we just got something, like picked out. We told him that we have someone outside who's gonna take his pictures on his birthday. And we had in the driveway, the boy and everything. So he went outside and he was like shocked,
that's
bro. Like he didn't know it was
fine.
there. Yeah, so
That's fire.
yeah, man.
Congrats, bro. That's hey, shout out to Pops, man. He a real one.
Yeah, bro. He made a lot of sacrifice for us, man. That's
Yeah,
why we're here. So in the day, just
exactly.
kind of like give back, and that's kind of like what I always talk about, bro. Just being in that position, be able to do things for the people you love and care about. Give them their flowers. Kind of like why
Yeah.
Yep.
they're here.
Why they here,
Those are
man?
Hmm.
those are the little things we talk about. If to me, that's kind of like his flowers for all the hard work, man.
That's
For
dope. That's dope.
so
That's the shit
yeah,
that's going. That's the shit that really matters, man.
That's
That's all
it,
we can
man.
really do, man. You know what I'm saying? That's fire, man.
you guys, no, what else? You guys have anything else to add before we wrap this up here in a little bit?
I think this is a good spot, man. Just to circle back, man. Life is short, bro. Life
Yeah,
is short,
Life is
man.
short.
Give your people their flowers. If there's something that you really want to do, go do it. You can't be scared of life and death, bro. You know what
right,
I'm saying? So while we here, you know what I mean? Let's push the boundaries, man. Let's inspire each other, man. Let's, bring good energy, man. Let's love on our peoples, man, and
right,
and let's keep pushing the boundaries, bro. Life is short.
yeah,
That's it.
yeah.
Life is
Also,
short, man.
and for me, man, what I've taken out of this so far is just like living with a sense of urgency, right?
Hmm.
Because like you talked about it earlier, sometimes we think we have more time. Just trying to like create that life that you truly desire now.
Yeah.
Do whatever it takes that's gonna get there. Deep down within your heart things that you want to do. Don't allow fear or other people to stop you from pursuing those things. Because at the end of the day, if you're gone today, most of the people don't really care.
Hmm.
So stop worrying about other. This is for myself too. Stop worrying about other people's opinions of you.
Yep.
I know it's cliche to say, because we do care about other people to a certain level. But at the end of the day, go and do those things that you really want to do, man. You know what makes you happy. Like, go and pursue all those things. Don't allow other people to tell you, oh, you cannot do those things. You're not qualified to do those things. Go and do it. It's your life.
Yep. And
My,
piggybacking off of that, it's never too early to plan, man. So
right,
start making those plans now. Whatever it is that you want to do, make plans for it. But also set yourself up and your people who care about you for the best. Things like
right,
wills, things
right,
like life insurance, things like trust and all this. It's never too early to start having those conversations, to start thinking about it, start planning for it. Even if you don't start planning, it's just like the reason why we have conversations like this is to get our minds flowing,
right,
right? Like at the end of the day, it's just like, okay, like maybe I should really start looking into this. Maybe I should start inquiring maybe with a lawyer or whoever I need to for counsel to make sure that I'm doing this correctly and setting my
right,
people that I love, I'm setting them up for success, just in the long term. Because at the end of the day, man, our time all expires at some point. We don't know when, but our time
right,
expires, And so
right,
when it does, you just want to be able to put your people in a better position than when you left, right? And so, so at the end of the day, man, it's never too early to plan and just start. At the end of the day, start having the conversation, start planning, start figuring it out, but just start.
yeah,
Life is short
yeah. Have fun while you're
and
here.
have fun. Yeah, don't want to make it seem all serious. Definitely don't want to make it seem all serious, but
Right.
definitely have fun.
Let's see. Good work. We get there. Well, life insurance squared
But,
away. Been
yeah,
speaking with
read
financial
read that
advisor.
out.
Yeah.
Read that
Yeah,
out live out people real
yeah,
quick.
He
Down.
said, "Good work, Z. My 2025 goal is to get my will and life insurance squared away. Been speaking with
yep,
a financial advisor this year. In the works of setting it up now.
Let's
I
get it.
yeah,
appreciate it, bro. That's dope.
yeah,
Yeah,
man.
same here,
Get
man.
it.
Like just having this conversation now for me,
Yep,
I'm definitely gonna look more into like will and trust, right? Because those things that really, like I said, man, we think we have financial knowledge, right? But it's so
there-
there are other things I have
there's
no
still
idea
so
about. Like,
much.
damn, now I gotta learn about trust and will. Like, oh my
Yeah,
god, you
there's
know.
literally so much to know, bro. It's crazy. It
Taxes,
is genuinely,
4K. It's good. I mean, for me, I enjoy learning those things, right? Because like now to learn about something new, right? So
yeah,
I think it's a good topic to like go and do some research to learn about more, and hopefully, like Kel said, man, like 2025, and start putting those
yep,
things together, man,
yep,
The more you learn, the more you earn.
for
But the more you
sure.
learn, the more you earn, the more you need to learn. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I'm gonna be a
facts.
tax attorney out here, man. Like, if you have any trust question, will
Facts.
question, reach out to your boy.
Yep,
Come on, holla at me.
All right. Shout out to
All right,
everyone who
y'all. This
joined the
was a good
live.
yeah.
one,
Shout out
man. I'm
to
Yeah.
glad we did this one. I'm glad we did this
and
one,
shout
man.
out
Shout
Kels,
out to
man. Kels ain't been able to get back on, like in a
Right.
while. He been out there doing Bible study. So shout out, man, for getting right with the Lord too, man. Like we appreciate that. But
Yeah.
anyways, P, what was
I
you gonna say?
was gonna say shout out to everybody who's not with us no more, man.
Yep,
Sometimes, sometimes I just ask myself, how would they want me moving?
Right.
How would they want me living? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
yeah,
Shout out to everybody who's no longer with us.
But you with us in
T,
spirit.
Cruz, Tori, everybody who's not with us right now, man.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We're gonna make y'all proud, bro. I promise
We
that.
we gonna make
For sure.
everybody proud. I
Yeah,
promise.
y'all
We
gonna
we
catch
gonna leave a
these
legacy.
vibes,
Y'all go
like Z
catch
said.
these motherfucking vibes,
Y'all
baby.
got the one and
A
we in
vibe
the
was caught.
house.
A vibe was caught.
For sure. All right,
All right,
fellas.
fam.
All right,
All right.
y'all.
Everybody.